What is going on, Trash Talkers? We are back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our draft profile and analysis for Ohio State wide receiver Chris Olave. All that and much more coming your way right now. All right, Nick, with the draft coming closer and closer, we have to talk about yet another draft profile here. Today, we're going to be talking about wide receiver Chris Olave from the Ohio State University. This guy was absolutely electric during his time in Ohio. He was just absolutely phenomenal and worked with Justin Fields so well. Without Justin Fields, he kind of fell in the back burner a little bit. Still had a very remarkable season, but Garrett Wilson definitely took over as the number one receiver. So Chris Olave, we're going to have to take a look and see what this guy is all about. He stands at 6'1", 189 pounds. PFF ranks him as the number 4 wide receiver in this draft class with a pro comparison of Marquise Hollywood Brown. This guy looks exactly like Hollywood Brown does on the football field. Massive helmet, small body. Can't miss him. And when you take a look at the way they play, also very similar. I fully expect that this guy is going to be a deep threat for many, many years to come. When you take a look at Olave's career stats, the man played 4 years at Ohio State, for 39 games, 176 receptions, 2,711 yards, 35 touchdowns. This guy was an absolute scoring machine. He was all over the end zone and could never be stopped. He was just absolutely incredible. Nick, why don't you tell us a little bit about the strengths and weaknesses of his gameplay on the football field?
You're absolutely right. He was incredible because he is one of the best, if not the best, route runner in this draft class. What he was able to do to get separation using his speed and footwork was some of the best in all of college. Chris Olave is a very fast guy with great athleticism who's able to use his technique to get separation. He doesn't rely on body position or his power. He doesn't have that. He needs to use the God-given talent he was given to get separation, and he does it to a superior level. And when you're looking for a guy to get a catch, Chris Olave's the man for you. He's a sure catch machine, and he's a guy that can work over the middle of the field, can take the top off a defense. But when we look at his weaknesses, that small frame doesn't lend itself to when he needs to break tackles. When you need a guy to get yards after the catch, Chris Olave is just going to fall down to the ground. He is not going to be a guy who can run through any cornerback, any safety on the field. He may be able to run past them, but there's no way that if he is in the grasp of them, he is going to be able to get out. So that's something that definitely needs to be taken into consideration when teams look at Chris Olave.
Absolutely. And I mean, Olave, again, he has the speed to get away from most DBs. So, you can offset that weakness with his ability to create separation and do the work he needs. When you take a look at guys who don't run through people, Hollywood Brown comes to mind, but so does Tyreek Hill. That man's not running through anyone, but he runs out of bounds and gets 40, 50-yard catches with ease. So if Chris Olave is going to be Tyreek Hill 2.0, I'm all for that. But when we take a look at some of the potential teams that might try to acquire the services of one Chris Olave, we start off with none other than the Cleveland Browns. The Browns are in the midst of revamping their entire wide receiving core, it seems like. Jarvis Landry has been told that he may or may not be returning. They are going to deeply figure out whether he belongs on this team or not. They already lost Odell Beckham Jr. last year when they released him, so now they have to get Baker Mayfield some help if they want any chance of him succeeding in Cleveland. Chris Olave coming to this team would be a breath of fresh air. Working with Donovan Peoples-Jones and the tight ends that they have on this roster would be one of the best things for this roster. They would be able to take the top off the defense and really work that deep ball against these very strong middle of the field defenses that they see in their division in Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Cincinnati. I believe Chris Olave would be a very Jamar Chase-esque type of player for Baker Mayfield that we saw in Cincinnati.
The Philadelphia Eagles also come to mind. It's no secret that with their top 3 picks, they're going to be taking a wide receiver. With one of them, Jalen Reagor, has not panned out the way they wanted, and Chris Olave is exactly who they wanted Jalen Reagor to be. So if Chris Olave is still there at 15, 16, or 19, he is definitely going to be on the radar for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Next up, we see the New Orleans Saints enter the mix, and Michael Thomas looks like he'll be continuing to stay in New Orleans, and you need somebody who can do the opposite of what he can do. That means taking the top off the defense, insert Chris Olave, and you have a dynamic 1-2 punch that will really wreak havoc amongst the NFC South. These guys together would be a perfect complement to each other for whoever they decide is playing quarterback for the Saints next year.
And finally, the New England Patriots, they have not seen a guy like this since Brandon Cooks was on the roster, and he thrived on the Patriots. With whoever the offensive coordinator is for the Patriots, Chris Olave would be an extremely dynamic weapon, perfect to offset Kendrick Bourne and Jacoby Myers, somebody that can really take the top off the defense. Nelson Aguilar wasn't able to do that, but Chris Olave is a lot more versatile and plays the position of wide receiver much better. So Chris Olave would be a great offset to what already exists on the Patriots and what they want to do in the future.
Chris Olave absolutely deserves to be a first-round selection. I believe that he has the skill set to be one of the best wide receivers taken in this draft class. The fact is that Garrett Wilson overtook him because Wilson had more of a rapport with Ohio State's quarterback this year than Olave did with Justin Fields over the last couple of seasons. So when you take a look at all of that, Olave, his production was still there. It was just that Garrett Wilson was the primary target, and people took that as a slight to Olave. He was still there. He was still productive, as you can see by his stat line. So he's going to be a productive wide receiver in the NFL, and he's going to show why they should never have passed up on his talent. All right, well, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of Chris Olave, where you want to see him drafted, and who your pro comparison is for him. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.